niche down with your portfolio and you're trying to, you know, rank up with the other really good artists that get a lot of work in the niche that you're in, yes. What is the worst thing that you can do as an artist above anything else? Think about that for a sec, but before I answer that, I just want to say that as an artist, you carry a very, very unique gift within you. Your creativity has the power to ignite emotions, you can inspire a lot of people, and being a creative person allows us this avenue to really make things that nobody has ever seen before. But you have to be aware that there is one pitfall that can undermine all of your hard work and dreams. Get ready. It's comparing yourself to others. Now you're probably thinking, now wait a second. I have to compare myself to other artists, otherwise I don't know if I'm improving or not. Let me explain. It's tempting to measure your success and abilities against those around you. Okay, but this only leads to self-doubt and a loss of authenticity. What happens is comparisons stifle your creativity and it can actually hinder your growth. You have to be very careful about it. Every artist has their own unique voice and style. Okay, and if you're an artist just starting out and you feel like you don't have your voice yet or your style, it does come. It does. It's through embracing these differences that we truly shine and create something extraordinary. All right, so instead of comparing yourself to other people, just focus on honing your skills and developing your own craft. Okay, and one of the ways to do this is by surrounding yourself with a supportive community of artists who inspire and challenge you to become better. And that means people that will give you good constructive criticism, people that don't tear you or tear your art down or make fun of you. And, you know, in exchange, we have to make sure that we don't take this personally. Remember, art is very subjective, and success cannot be measured solely by external validation. And we all know what that means. If you post work online and it doesn't get a certain number of likes within a certain amount of time, we either delete it or we think it's not good enough. Or if we post it to ArtStation or Polycount or some kind of, you know, online forum and nobody's commenting, nobody's saying anything, we think it sucks. Your worth as an artist lies in staying true to yourself and expressing your innermost thoughts and emotions. That's the beauty of art, and that's why it's so subjective. So avoid the trap of comparison, right? And embrace your individuality. You have to allow your art to speak its own truth. And not to sound corny, but touch the hearts of others. Because hey, let's face it, it really does. How many times have you perused the internet and seen somebody's portfolio and you saw art that really spoke to you? It's a beautiful thing, and you can't stop staring at it, and you're wondering about it. And if it's a really awesome environment piece, you think you're walking around in there. If it's some kind of fantasy beast or awesome armor or super cool looking gun or car, you're like, man, I could drive that, I could shoot that, I could jump on that creature and do all kinds of stuff. Again, you have to allow your art to speak its own truth. Your journey as an artist is very, very unique. No one can tell you your story but you. One of the things that I stress to all my students is when you have a sketchbook, treat your sketchbook as a diary. And think about what it means to actually have a journal or a diary. It's nobody's business, right? Right. They can't, nobody has a business to read your diary and tell you that you're thinking incorrectly. No, those are your thoughts. So when you have a sketchbook, one of the things that I used to do is I worried so much about what other people thought of the sketches in my sketchbook because I was afraid that they would think I wasn't good. So that each page had to have perfect drawings on it. If there were some scribbles, or if there was something that didn't look right, I would leave the rest of the page blank, and I would waste so many sketchbooks and so many nice white sheets of paper simply because I was worried what other people thought. You know, I mean, big sketchbooks, and I would draw something in the middle, and it didn't start out right, so I would just turn the page. All right, that's not the way to go about this. So when you're comparing yourself to other artists, you need to stop and think about why you're comparing yourself to them. Is it to grow, or is it envy? Because what happens is, when we learn how to become a better artist, we have to put ourselves and surround ourselves with artists that are better than us. Yes, that is true. If you want to get into a certain studio, if you want to become this awesome painter, this awesome sketcher, we look up to other artists without copying. That's the thing. Now, when you're learning how to, find your own voice within your art, you're going to copy a little bit, because that's how we all learn. And then we take what we have learned and apply it our own way, and that's how we develop our own style. Style can be a whole other video that I would love to talk about. But to go back to the comparison, every day when you're worried about your own artwork and how it looks, and why am I not getting the same amount of publicity and freelance, and why isn't anybody contacting me and emailing me? You're worrying too much about your art looking like something else. You have to practice, and you have to hone your own skills so that your art speaks for itself. When you post it online, people know it's you and not another artist that you keep comparing yourself to. Because let's face it, if you're going to try to get work, or if you're trying to get your foot in the door, why would they hire why would they hire an imposter when they could just hire the real person, correct? So the bottom line is just to be very, very cautious about when you're comparing yourself to other artists. You can do it in a way that makes your portfolio better. So for example, if you're trying to niche down with your portfolio, and you're trying to rank up with the other really good artists that get a lot of work in the niche that you're in, yes, compare your work constructively to that other artist or artists, so that you have a benchmark, you have a skill level that you need to reach. And if you can identify that skill gap, then you can work towards your own skills to be there. Every day when you're comparing yourself to other artists, just random artists that can do something that you wish you could do, it's very toxic, because you're not being true to yourself. You're not developing your own skills. So you need to make sure, and this is, I stress this more than anything, take a sheet of notebook paper, take a notepad or whatever, and write down your goals of where you want to be as an artist. And I'm here's the cliche question that they give in interviews: where do you see yourself in 5 years? So let's cut it short a little bit. As an artist, where do you see yourself in 3 years? Okay, are you working in a studio? Are you a freelancer? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you selling digital products? Are you teaching? All these different things that you might want to do, which is great. Hey, if you want to do all of them, fantastic. If you want to run your own online art school, fantastic. Write that down. What are you going to do in 3 years? And then what are you going to do in 6 years? And then 10 years? Because those are some pretty big gaps. But at the same time, they're not really big gaps. So again, tying it all back to comparing yourself to other artists too much. Don't let mistakes derail your artistic journey. Okay, the thing is, you have to empower yourself to flourish and thrive in your own creative endeavors. Okay, so that means that when you're on the internet and you're looking at everybody's portfolio, look at tutorials, look at read articles about how they became not necessarily well known, but what they did to overcome their obstacles. Because let's face it, we as artists, we all have our own obstacles. We do. We share a lot of the same obstacles, but at the same time, everybody's life is different and everybody's artistic journey is different. So there are some that are unique to the individual. So let me put it this way. If you find yourself comparing, if you are comparing yourself too much to other artists, take a step back, take a deep breath, and evaluate what you need to do to become better. And that way, you're going to hone your own style, and then you can start to build your own following with your own unique vision. Okay? If you want to write a book, if you want to sell sketchbooks, if you want to sell prints and t-shirts and run a school, all of that stuff. It's all possible if you just cut out the noise. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed and you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's continue the journey together. Thank you. Can't wait to see you in the next video.